I've homeschooled 3 kiddos through middle school now, and we've had some curriculum hits and some real busts. And while I absolutely love these years, curriculum-wise, it can be a bit of a challenge. In the elementary years, our homeschool is mom-led and the kids come along. By high school, my goal is to be out of a job. These middle school years are that transitional period, both academically and maturity-wise. And all of that makes choosing curriculum a challenge. It's a real balancing act to keep it engaging and fun and hit everything that you need. So, what curriculum have we loved the most after 3 kiddos? Let's chat. Now, first up is Real Science Odyssey Level 2. There are 2 programs, biology and astronomy, and we have done both of them. Now, why do I like it? Well, first, it's a really great transition program for students who are moving from more of a group learning or mom-led subject to more of an independent learning that they're going to need in high school. For 7th grade, Matthew wanted a more structured learning for science. He wanted something that went more clearly linear, whatever that word is, going from one point to the next, to the next, to the next, where they build on each other. The science is on the easier side, I would say, not as in-depth as it could be, but I don't actually mind that in this situation because in it, your student is learning to manage textbooks, questions that they have to answer to it, research projects, small ones in each chapter, as well as microscope labs, if you're doing biology, regular labs, writing lab reports. So there is a lot that they have to learn how to do. And when the science on the a little bit easier side, they don't have to spend as much brain power on that and then still have to spend a lot of brain power learning to manage it all and how to do all of that. This year, he wanted to do an online class. And since we knew Astronomy 2 was a good choice for him, we went looking for one for biology as well. We found someone who used to teach for the publisher when they hosted classes. So it's been great. Now, a bonus curriculum idea. If you have a kiddo who really loves to read, go check out Guest Hollow's Botany. Again, link down there. It's a fantastic curriculum and is a great one for an 8th grade student. A confession on this next one. It is neither engaging nor exciting. But grammar really isn't for most of us, right? Analytical grammar, though, is very much a get-it-done program. Open, do the activity, close it, move on. If you've not done it in elementary school, no problem. This is a complete program. Altogether, the entire book is a full year curriculum, but it's divided up into 3 seasons, so you could definitely spread it out over middle school. That's the way it's designed, actually. Elizabeth started it in 8th grade, and so did Ben. Matthew, I started him in 7th grade. And the way we do it is that on Monday, Mom introduces the topic, they finish the exercise, the rest of the week is work or practice on that same subject, and then Friday's the review. Starts again on Monday. So it's very well laid out. It's very clear what needs to be done in each day, which makes it great for them to be doing it on their own. But if you don't need a full curriculum and your kiddo just needs a brush up, go check out Khan Academy's grammar, free, online, maybe 10 minutes a day. It's a great program. I do have more in-depth videos of almost all of the programs I'm going to mention because, like I said, these are longtime favorites. So I'll leave all those descriptions down in the down bar. For many kiddos, spelling is not a subject that they do in middle school. We did it in my public school, but I'm not sure how prevalent that is. But in general, you'll see a lot of people stop doing spelling by middle school and definitely by high school. But some kiddos just need a little bit longer. But if you look at a lot of the programs that are like start in kindergarten and go through middle school, they're rather cutesy. And if we know anything about middle school kiddos, they can be a little sensitive at times. It is produced by it's published by the same company who does Explode the Code, if you're familiar with it. And it is a very minimal illustration, minimal stuff on the page, black and white. It does not look babyish at all. And that's what attracted me to it. If you have a kiddo who needs spelling help for whatever reason, maybe they have a language processing disorder like a couple of my kiddos, or maybe it's just not something they're great with, they may be a little more sensitive to it. So the simple nature of it, words that are not babyish, I think it's just a great choice for middle school kiddos. Now on to math. It's my favorite subject to teach, but by middle school, I like to transition my kiddos to doing it with someone else, whether that's through an online live class like Elizabeth did, or a self-paced class like my boys are doing. But in particular, Mr. D's math is the one that I think is one that most kiddos can do well with. At least the self-paced class. We don't have any experience with the live classes. But the self-paced class ticks the boxes of what we want for a middle school program. One, they're learning how to manage their own learning. That's an important skill. Two, it's not mom-led, but it's not difficult for me to hop in if I need to. There are good answer keys. The videos are short, so it's easy to find what I need to review in order to help him. Three, the difficulty level is a great next step following most elementary math programs. There are other programs like Math Without Borders, Forrester Math, Art of Problem Solving that may be a big jump up depending on what elementary program you used. Mr. D's math, I think, is much more in line without that gap. I have gushed about him in other videos, so I will have those links down in the down bar. But if you want a math that is a paper and pen math, go check out Math Mammoth. We used that through 6th grade with Elizabeth, and we would have continued on through middle school, except I needed to transition her to an online class. Next up, Fish Take. They actually have literature and math. I don't have any experience with the math, but the language arts we have absolutely loved. And it was a surprise hit for us. For 7th grade, Matthew was asking for a more structured approach to reading. In the past, my kids have always just read what they wanted to read into middle school, and then we started moving that way. But he really wanted more of a structured program. As you would expect with a literature program, it does include the reading, plus some writing, some grammar. But what you don't really expect is the incorporation of other subjects like history and current events. After we reviewed the books, Matthew chose the 57 bus unit. This was based on a real event in San Francisco about a decade ago. And the unit included news articles about the event, history and geography of the region. And we loved it. I was pleasantly surprised to see that kind of incorporation and side trails, but it also meant that he was reading in different formats. And I thought it was just a unique approach to literature. The downside is that there is some work you have to do to adapt the lesson plans because they give you day-by-day stuff, but it's written for a public school. So there is some work you need to do, but it's not difficult. But if you want something that's similar approach with side trails and incorporation of other subjects, but you don't want the prep work, go check out Literary Adventures for Kids. We've done 2 of them this year, and they've been really good. Matthew did one and Ben did one, and we'll definitely be adding more next year. While we took some inspiration from Charlotte Mason when my kids were young, we were definitely not a Charlotte Mason family. So I don't know how I ended up on the Simply Charlotte Mason website. But I am so glad I did when I stumbled upon the Visits to series. These are a hidden gem in the homeschool world. The first thing that captured me with them is that within each region, so there are 6 regions that you can purchase, but they all use the same 2 books, Material World and Hungry Planet. And while these books are on the older side, they are still really applicable. Because each one shows, so Material World will show what a family owns, like everything they own in various places around the world. Hungry Planet shows what they eat in a week. And one of the things about middle school kiddos is that they're developing that sense of where they belong in the world. And being able to see events and situations from other viewpoints. And that's what makes these books absolutely wonderful this age, because they're suddenly seeing, oh, the person in Brazil owns this and this. Well, why do they own those things? And why does someone in middle-class Mexico, why do they own the things they own? Now, what about lower-income family in Albania who lives out in the middle of nowhere, isolated, rural? Why do they own what they own? And they start to see that what they eat in a day and what they see and what they have is just going to be very different for a variety of reasons. Elizabeth used visits too in 7th and 8th grade, and she is my kiddo who enjoys reading the least. But she'd get so caught up in the pictures that she'd just start reading the rest of it as well. So a total bonus that I didn't expect. Matthew and Ben used them in parts here and there, but nothing fully. Not any particular reason, just the way life worked out. Now, the entire reason I started my channel was to explore what middle school looked like in homeschool. There were almost no other channels with older kiddos, and so I wanted to share. And I was really afraid of this age, but they've become some of my very favorite years. And good curriculum is part of that. So if you found this video helpful, let me know, and I will see you in the next one.